Hey guys, it's Coach Ahmed with Shrim's Academy again. As I promised, this video is about the boxer stance, basics of boxing, how to stand, how to move around, your basic footwork. This is for beginners. Actually, intermediate fighters as well should watch this video as well, because I'm going to discuss some common mistakes a lot of fighters do, even more advanced fighters as they go on. We call it boxer stance or the guard. I'm going to refer to it either way, and I'm going to be showing and demonstrating the right-handed boxer stance. And if you're a lefty, basically it's all reversed, and it's better this way. Start with the reversed stance, and in time, if you decide to start switching styles, that's fine. All right, so start with the basic stance, and we're going to start low by the feet. As you see here, I put a duct tape on the ground. This will help you a lot. Visual aid, and it will show you basically where your feet should be in relationship to the tape. The first thing you want to do is you want to push your lead foot forward, and you want to have a bladed stance. Bladed stance to have a minimized target you offer to your opponent. You don't want to be standing square. You remember in boxing generally, the target area is the half part of your torso. You can punch up to here. You can't punch the back. So what you want to do is you want to offer a bladed stance. Early on, when people start with this, they tend to stand sideways like that, which basically, as you can see, we call that standing on a balance beam. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to stand completely sideways. That's why we use the duct tape on the floor. So I always say put your left foot on the left side of the duct tape, your toes pointing in an angle, about 45-degree angle from the tape towards the tape. So not pointing straight against your opponent, not pointing straight towards the duct tape, but an angle, 45 degrees. Your lead foot should not be under you, should not be standing on it, should be in front of you, leading you. The back foot should do the opposite. It should be behind you, in the back. And the heel should be doing exactly what the front foot toes are doing. Your heel should be pointing 45-degree angle at the duct tape, and your knee should be loose. This is where a lot of people start developing problems. The first well-known common problem a lot of new fighters do is they push their butt back, which is like a wrestler stance. If you have some wrestling background, you know what I'm talking about, and if you come from wrestling background, you're gonna have a little bit of challenge in here. Just remember, we don't want to bend over. You want your butt to be between your feet, pointing at the ground, not pointing back. The rolling motion is going to come from here. We're going to discuss that in a second. But first, let's stay here with the legs. The knees should be loose, not bent. You're not squatting, just loose. You want to have a little bit of spring in your stance. Butt should be pointing down, not back. The hunching or the rolling motion or the posture comes from the sternum area right here. And what you want to do is you want to roll your shoulders forward. You want to tuck your chin, shoot your shoulders up, put your hands right on the sides of your head, preferably this area. If you imagine you have horns, they're going to stick out from here. And what you want to do, you want to use the inside of your fist and attach it to your forehead on this side, on this side. And then you want to pull your elbows in, shoulders up, around your back. I'm going to show you the back. Watch from the back. As you can see, I'm not bending over, I'm rolling over or hunching from my upper body forward. The whole idea is to try and cover as much of my body as possible to protect myself from my opponent's punches. Rule number one, protect yourself at all times. And the easiest way to protect yourself is by keeping your hands up, covering your face. It's very difficult to see through this guard. Obviously, there's nothing normal about boxing stance. So get used to it, give yourself some time, and I promise you it's going to get better and easier. Just remember, chin down. You don't want to be looking straight at your opponent. You don't want your head to be facing forward like that. You want to be looking up at your opponent. Hands covering your face, elbows covering as much as you can of your sides in here. Shoulders up. And some of the common mistakes people do is pointing their elbows up because their head is straight, their shoulders are relaxed, and they're standing in this position. Obviously, you're very open here and easy to get hit. The solution to that, push your shoulders up and point your elbows down. And you can look between your gloves. A lot of new fighters ask about, how do you see? You can't see from here. Well, of course you can see. You don't want to close your fist. You want to have a little bit of opening between your gloves so you can see your opponent. But at the same time, you want to be protected from straight punches and hooks. Also, you want to be protected here, so elbows in this position. Wider stance. Why do we stand in wider stance? Better balance, obviously. The taller you are, the wider the stance is going to be. Having your feet narrow like that is going to prevent you from moving freely and floating, like Muhammad Ali said, floating like a butterfly. You're going to be stumbling like an elephant, and you don't want that. Wider stance, spring in your knees, not bending, not squatting, just a little bit of spring. And the most important part is your weight management. You don't want to have your feet flat on the ground. You don't want your heels digging in the ground, because then your weight is going to go on your heels. Once your weight goes on your heels, your movement becomes slow and clumsy. You won't be able to run around in the ring or fight your opponent, go in and out, and have a good balance. If you lose your balance, not only that you could fall down, but also you can't fight back. And your punches aren't going to have the same power or speed that they would if you have a good balance. So make sure your weight stays on the forward part of your feet, the ball of your feet. Loose spring, arms in here. Now moving up and down this duct tape. It's very easy. Remember this formula. When you're moving forward, always start with forward foot. When you're moving back, always lead with the back foot. So always start with the foot closest to the direction you're traveling to. If I'm moving forward, I'm going to start with my lead foot, move maybe 4 inches, bring my back foot 4 inches, the same distance. I don't want to bring my back foot too far forward, because again, I end up in a narrow stance and not good for my balance. Once again, moving forward 3-4 inches, bring my back foot 3-4 inches. Again. And notice I land with the ball of my feet first. Good habit to develop. Going backward, the same thing, only reverse. I start with the back foot first. Bring my lead foot behind it. Now, if you have a mirror and you can practice in front of a mirror, that would be the best thing you could do, because you'll be able to see your feet and you'll develop the habit of looking forward, not looking down. We don't want to be looking at our feet while we're moving. We'll be looking at our opponent. So I'm going to go up and down for a little bit, and then we're going to go left and right. Forward, 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 forward. And always stop, finish the step completely. Don't be caught in half a step before you start going back. Finish the step. And now when you go back, start all over again. Backward, 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 backward. Forward again. Notice I'm tiptoeing, right? Baby steps. I'm not going to take big steps. There's no reason to take big steps. I'm just learning how to step forward and backward. Baby steps. Can you drag your foot on the ground? Sure, why not? Now going left. Again, lead with the foot closer to the direction you're traveling to. You're going left, start to the left, and bring your right behind it. One more time. Notice I'm still managing that stance. 45-degree angle. Going right. Lead with the right foot. And I end up where I started. Forward, backward, left, right. 2 steps each. This is going to be the basics that you need to learn right now. You can build on that. Just remember, don't build bad habits. Take your time, practice slow in front of a mirror. Look at your feet, look at your position. You're going to forget things, your hand's going to start dropping. It's okay. Just take your time, and every time you lose your stance, just start from the beginning. Good luck, and we'll see you again with more advanced videos.